You know that feeling when you look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself? When every step hurts, every breath feels labored, and deep down you know something has to change? That was Jelly Roll at 500 pounds. But what he revealed on Joe Rogan's podcast will hit you differently. Before we get into this, I need to tell you something. This isn't just another celebrity weight loss story. This is about a man who genuinely believed he was dying. And the moment that changed everything? It's heartbreaking. Jelly Roll, whose real name is Jason Bradley DeFord, sat down with Joe Rogan and opened up about weighing over 500 pounds and feeling his body shutting down. He'd been through multiple heart issues. He admitted he could feel himself dying. Think about that for a second. Not worrying about dying someday, actually feeling it happen. The singer told Rogan something that stopped me cold. He believed he was only 6 to 12 months away from death. Traveling 280 days a year, taking over 250 flights annually at that weight, his body was breaking down, and he knew it. But here's where it gets real. It was around his 39th birthday when everything clicked. He was staring down 40, and he had a realization that changed everything. He told Rogan he'd never met a 500-pound 40-year-old. Let that sink in. He wasn't being dramatic, he was being realistic. The man felt like he'd already cheated death. Multiple heart problems, a history of addiction, and now a body that was giving up on him. Now, Jelly Roll is a father. He has 2 kids, Bailey Ann and Noah. And when you're a parent, everything changes. It's not just about you anymore. His intimacy with his wife, Bunny XO, had become so difficult that he described it as terrible. He couldn't throw a football with his son. His brother had to do it instead. Picture this. You're watching your family cheer you on, support you, love you unconditionally, and you realize your addiction has stolen these moments from them. That's what hit Jelly Roll. He looked at his family cheering for him and thought about what his addiction had done to them. The rapper confessed that he never planned on living long. With his troubled past, the drugs, the weight, the health scares, he genuinely didn't expect to make it. But something shifted. Maybe it was becoming a father. Maybe it was watching other people his age die. Maybe it was just finally being ready. December 2022, that's when it started. There was a rainy Monday morning in Nashville. Jelly Roll had promised his family he'd start his weight loss journey. He'd made these promises before, empty words, but this time had to be different. He came outside dressed in his workout gear, and it was pouring rain. Cats and dogs. The old Jelly Roll would have gone back inside, would have said, "I'll start tomorrow," would have added it to the long list of broken promises. But he didn't. He walked in that rain because up until that moment, he'd been lying to himself and his family about losing weight. This time, he was done lying. He reached out to Gary Brecka, a human biologist, asking if he worked with people struggling with severe obesity. Brecka's advice was simple, but overwhelming. Walk 10,000 steps a day and start cold plunging. For a 500-pound man, that seemed impossible. Jelly Roll was inspired by Dana White, watching the UFC president transform his health through cold plunging. He thought it was that simple at first, just copy what worked for someone else. But he learned it's never that easy. Here's something most people don't talk about. Food addiction. Jelly Roll compared his food addiction to drug addiction, noting that unlike drugs, food is everywhere and you need it to survive. You can't go cold turkey on food. He made the point that there's no heroin on the table, but there's always a cookie somewhere. In the first 3 months, he had his wife and daughter hide food from him. They found hiding spots he never discovered. He'd walk into the pantry and find nothing but a banana. That's what it took. Complete environmental control. He approached it like he approached beating drug addiction. He recognized the patterns, the emotional connections, the way addiction works regardless of the substance. This time, though, he took it slow. No crash diets, no extreme measures that wouldn't last. He committed to intentional, thoughtful change rather than emotional, impulsive decisions. He focused on the mental shift first, understanding why he ate, what triggered him, how to build sustainable habits. Fast forward to today, Jelly Roll has lost close to 300 pounds. The transformation is staggering, but more than the number on the scale, listen to what he told Rogan. He never thought he'd lose this weight. He feels great, really, really good. He's running. Actually running. The man who couldn't walk 10,000 steps is now doing 5Ks. He competed in the Two Bears 5K event, a guy who once weighed over 500 pounds. He even mentioned something incredible. After eating healthier, he could see colors again after 20 years. He attributes it to reducing sugar and inflammation. But here's what matters most. When Jelly Roll saw Joe Rogan again, he thought he'd probably never see him after that. He expected to be gone. Now he's talking about being a 70-year-old man alongside Rogan, about having a life he never thought possible. The transformation isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual. He's present with his kids, intimate with his wife, living instead of slowly dying. Jelly Roll's story matters because he's not selling you some quick fix. He's not promoting a pill or a diet plan. He's showing you what happens when you finally decide enough is enough, when you stop lying to yourself, when you realize your family deserves better, when you realize you deserve better. If you're watching this and you're struggling with your weight, your health, your life, hear this. It's never too late. Jelly Roll thought he was months from death. Now he's planning to grow old. That's possible for you too. Not easy, but possible. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment telling me what part hit you hardest. Because stories like this, they save lives.